Anytime you buy equipment from another country, you have to worry about implants and hardware, software being implanted in there that can allow them to control the devices that are used, whether it's in a home or in a switch network or a server or any kind of network. It means principally that the foreign government has the best control of that system or equipment. So it's a way of bugging things. That's what we did with the world using. I mean, there was some video on or some pictures showing NSA people intercepting Cisco routers being shipped around the world to put implants in hardware and software so that they control the switches. So that once the people who receive the switches at the end, once they installed them in their network, that meant that NSA owned their network.
So China's doing what we did to them.
Yes.
We're talking to William Benny, the former technical head of the NSA, and he was laying out some big knowledge during that 2-minute break, specifically on 5G and other issues. But you were bringing up one other issue. What was that, Dr. Benny?
That had to deal with Gooster 2 and the allegation that he worked for the Soviets, the Russians, I mean, in hacking the DNC. And he put data out there on the web, and we could, from that data, we could show that it couldn't cross the web because the download rates were so fast the web could not handle it across the Atlantic. And we proved that by attempting it from various points and also from data centers. So once we proved that, we also could show that he was playing with the data, so manipulating that data into different files, and we showed, therefore, that he was a fabrication. And further, the timestamps on that data that we were finding, some of our guys, we're still looking at this, by the way, showed the East Coast in the United States, Central Time in the United States, and one in the Pacific Coast time. So whatever was happening there with Gooster 2 was all a fabrication made up. And this was one of the bases for the indictment from Rosenstein. So he took fabrications and put it in his. This is proof of my indictment. You know, it says indictment's a fabrication. You know, and by the way, Mueller's group, nor did any of the House or Senate Intelligence or Judiciary committees ever call us to give any information about the technical findings we had. Nobody asked us. The only thing I got was the president told Director Pompeo of CIA he should talk to me if he wanted to get facts about Russiagate. Well, I mean, what's that tell you? That tells you the intelligence agencies of the United States are not telling the president or the director of CIA what the facts are.
There are rogue, out-of-control groups, and the president's still trying to get control. So shifting gears. And please join us again. This is too hot right now. Please come on next week. And we appreciate your time, sir, Dr. Benny. What about 5G? We know it gets into everything. It grabs data. So the Chi-Coms are doing it. They say it's a national security threat. What is your view on that?
Well, I think it is, because anytime you buy equipment from another country, you have to worry about implants and hardware, software being implanted in there that can allow them to control the devices that are used, whether it's in a home or in a switch network or a server or any kind of network. It means principally that the foreign government has the best control of that system or equipment. So it's a way of bugging things. That's what we did with the world using. I mean, there was some video on or some pictures showing NSA people intercepting Cisco routers being shipped around the world to put implants in hardware and software so that they control the switches. So that once the people who receive the switches at the end, once they installed them in their network, that meant that NSA owned their network.
So China's doing what we did to them.
Yes.
So what do we need to do about that?
Well, you need to be able to scan the devices and scan the software that's in the devices to be able to separate out and see the implants. And there are several ways that are being experimented with now. For example, and one I was trying to stimulate further development in Europe is where you have a set of radiated. You look at a switch and you can look at the radiation of that switch and be able to tell how many processes are running in it. So if you know what the norm is for the switch under normal functioning, any deviation from that can be detected, which means there's an implant in there. So that way you could detect the implants, and then you could start to search them and try to find them. So that's one of the ways of doing it. Some of the other ways are looking at that the fiber optic lines on either end, and looking at the luminosity going in and luminosity coming out, the distance between, and knowing the loss over that distance of normal transmissions, then you can see if there's any deviation from that norm. That means you're tapped. So, you know,
well, William Binney, we appreciate you, and I hope you write a book. I've been begging you for years to do it. Please join us again. This is so hot right now next week. Thank you so much for your service and everything you've done. You're a true American. I'm proud to talk to you and proud to know you, and I'm glad you come on despite how we're demonized. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, Alex, for having me.
Thank you. Remember when TV didn't watch you, you watched television? There's no reviews yet for it, but it's at InfoWarsStore.com. We bought the best-selling antenna. We sell it for, what is it, $5 less than Amazon does. InfoWars HD digital TV antenna. And, I mean, look, you're talking like 100+ digital channels, and then they'll have 4 or 5 sub-channels of every old cool TV show, old movies. It's like way better than cable, and it's like Hawaii Five-0, Gilligan's Island, I Dream of Jeannie, Dallas, stuff from the 90s, new stuff, like when the Olympics was on. I didn't know there were 10 channels of Olympics on TV. I mean, it's like, my God, this is way better than cable, and people don't know that it's free after you buy the antenna. The point is that there's so many channels, and it's not watching you. It's not tracking you. So we do sell the antennas at the lowest price you'll find at InfoWarsStore.com.